All right. Hey, guys, welcome. We're back. This is another edition of Fridays in Football. It's December 13th. We're coming to you from Cleveland High School. That's Jaden, that's Tyler, and I'm Ace. We're going to get started right away, guys. Let's talk table talk. Right now, the hot stories going on right now is Champions League. And we saw some results yesterday and today, and things as far as I know, we've got the round of 16 already, settled. There's some surprises. There's some, things that we expected. There were some close calls, building up to it, and so I want to get into all that. And let's start with Liverpool. I think, I think I was a little nervous heading into their match yesterday. I was thinking, I don't know, what if the worst thing happens, and they don't get out of the group stage. But why would I doubt Liverpool at this stage? I mean, that's just ridiculous. They handled them. There was no problem. 2-0, close call. I don't think so.
Great goal by Salah. Impossible angle. That was incredible.
I don't even understand that shot. Mm-hmm. I really don't. I was like, what? Because it almost like curve. It was
curving the wrong way.
It was curving. It wasn't an outside in. It was curving that way, and I was like, well, did that just defy everything? Like, I don't know how he did it, but he's the Egyptian king. Mm-hmm. So what can I say? And I know you're not a big, Lovren fan, but what I realized about him is that that guy can deliver long balls, like, from the back. He's doing these great passes from the back. Like, he's done it, a couple of weeks in a row now. I think that's something that people have to fear from Liverpool. And he's good, and to think that he wasn't really first choice center back, mm-hmm. Last couple of last year basically, but again they bring him in. He's been doing great, and I realize this guy adds, and not only is he decent defender, but he can add some offensive punch too. So Liverpool got through. I don't know. What do you think, Jaden? Were you expecting it? Surprised? What?
My one really scary thought I had in my head before that game was the U.S. men's national team had a higher chance to qualify for the World Cup than Liverpool did to qualify for the last 16 last year. And so anything can happen, but I don't think there was ever really an actual doubt that Liverpool weren't going to lose the game. And we're just such a better team. It's really David versus Goliath, and you only see upsets like that 1 in a million, and this wasn't really one of those.
Yeah. Another game I thought was interesting. I was kind of pulling for Chelsea. I was expecting them to win too, but kind of like you said, there's anything can happen. But they pulled it out too. They cruised to a 2-1 win over Lille. So that was nice to see, I think, just as an American fan, wanting Pulisic to do really well. It's great to see him get that opportunity to play at the next level, in the knockout stage, so that, he gets that experience.
Yeah, it's been nice. He's been consistently getting that starting position and pretty much staying in the whole game in these last couple weeks of the Premier League, and I think he played the whole game versus Lille.
Yeah. I don't know. It sure looks like he belongs. I mean, he's every time I watch him play, he's either leading to a goal scoring opportunity, or they do score. I mean, he's everything you want in an attacker. He's making really good decisions. He's not shying away from attacking. Lampard just must be loving it, I think.
Well, when you're a player on the bench, all you can do is wait for your chance, and your chance will come. But when you get your chance, you have to you have to make it impossible for the manager to exclude you from the lineup. And that's what Pulisic did with his hat trick over Burnley like a month back, and then he's just been in absolutely scintillating form. It's like similar with Lovren too, like you were saying. He's been on the bench, he got his chance, and now he's succeeding and performing great.
Yeah. That's Chelsea. I mean, they're moving on. A couple of teams are not moving on. Any big surprises for you, Tyler?
Definitely Ajax. It's kind of sad to see them knocked out since they're such a fun team to watch, and also it's just cool to, like Jaden was telling me earlier, there's not a single team in the round of 16 this year who aren't in the top 5 leagues in Europe. So I don't know. It's just kind of fun to have those teams every once in a while who break out like Ajax did last year, making it to the semifinals, who aren't in the top 5 leagues.
Yeah, I'd have to say, for me, Inter not making it was kind of a disappointment. They, but what a tough group that was. It was it Inter and Borussia Dortmund and Barca. Like something's got to give there, and Inter had its chance. Lukaku could have scored, didn't score a couple times, right? And so it's not like they didn't have their chances, but here's a case where they're leading. Last I checked, are they still leading Serie A?
I think so.
Knocked out,
yeah.
And it's too bad. I kind of was pulling for them.
The thing about Inter is, I've said this before, but I don't think they're real pretenders, or they're real contenders. They're pretenders, rather. In all their big games this year, they played Barcelona twice, lost them both. Played Juventus, lost. They had a 2-0 lead away at Dortmund, lost. The only time they've beaten decent opposition this year is Dortmund at home, they're pretty good, but not elite. And against teams that they should beat, they can do the job, but they can't compete with the big boys. And it's really down to just their consistency in the games that they should win, which is why they're top of the table right now.
Well, do you think they'll be able to hold off Juventus, or do you think Juventus is an elite team still, or do you think, they're they're middling in the sense of the rest of Europe, but in Italy they're the champs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to your first question, if they can hold Juventus off, absolutely not. And to the second question, the exact same answer. Juventus, until they stop winning Serie A every single year, will never be anything other than an elite team.
What is that buzzing?
It's my phone.
Oh, that's your phone. Okay. Do you got to take care of something, or?
It's okay. I'm not a screenager.
All right, that's good. It is kind of. I keep hearing it. I think like there's a cry for help or something out there, and I can't help but think about it. All right, yeah. So, any other? I don't know. Were there other surprises? We've kind of covered some of the big teams, some of the surprises maybe. I had my one team that I was really hoping it would go through, but I kind of knew they wouldn't just based on their last game, was Dynamo Zagreb. Thought, kind of like what you were saying, it'd be nice to see some team break out. And I thought they were going to have a chance, but they had to beat Man City, and that wasn't happening. Yeah. Even though Dynamo had jumped out to a 1-0 lead, and then Man City just, had a barrage of goals, and that was that. So they're out. But that group was kind of strange because Atalanta was they hadn't won a game in their first 4 games, and then they won their last one, and then they get in, and it's never happened before in the Champions League. So it could have been Dynamo Zagreb, but anyway, congrats to Atalanta. So, but were there other teams that we're looking at here in the round of 16 that could be the Ajax of this tournament?
I don't know, at this point with no teams like who aren't in the top 5 leagues, it's kind of hard to say. Like, we have a lot of just powerhouse teams apart from Atalanta and let's see, Lyon. They're all just, and maybe Valencia. They're all just really solid like teams that you would expect to do well in the Champions League.
Valencia, having finished top of their group, will have a favorable draw in the next round, but the 2 hard teams in Pot 2, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid, since they're from the same association, they can't be drawn against them, which means they'll be drawn against either Lyon, Dortmund, Napoli, Atalanta, or Tottenham, which for Valencia, I don't think any of those could be insurmountable at all.
Yeah, right. Well, so the draws went next week, right? Monday or something?
Monday.
And then we'll find out, but we will have to wait for, 2 months until the round of 16, which I like. I love the build-up to games, like that's part of the thrill, I think, of this tournament. So I'm looking forward to some really great. There's probably going to be one or those round of 16 games. There's always one or two that you just think, wow, how could those 2 teams play this early in the tournament? Mm-hmm. What would be like a fun matchup? Do you think a round of 16 that would be really fun to watch?
There's 2 that really catch my mind. Real Madrid Liverpool, a rematch of the final 2 years ago, and then this one. I'm pretty sure everyone would love to see it, but Real Madrid versus Juventus, Ronaldo's return to the Bernabeu. That'd be a dream, but you never know. I wonder what the odds of that are.
You got me.
They have Juventus have 5 potential opponents in the next round, so you never know.
It's a definite possibility. Okay, cool. Who's been the player of the tournament so far, do you think? Maybe offensively, and then we could think of a defensive player too.
I probably would have said, what was his name? Erling Haaland, but Salzburg just got knocked out. I think he had 8 goals or something in the Champions League, just the knockout stage.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
It's really sad we won't get to see him build on it. Mm-hmm. I would have been rooting for Salzburg. It's just like one of those Leicester scenarios where you don't have a problem, but I did have a problem because they're in the same group as Liverpool.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Let's see. So that's Champions League. Let's move on. Let's see. That's table talk. Let's look back just on this last week. Any league, any competition. What was? Let's just kind of have a grab bag, I guess you could say, of various things that just kind of stuck out in your mind, like maybe a best moment or the best game of the week, a really great performance, maybe some crazy stat, that kind of thing, or a good win or a really bad loss. Let's look back.
Well, Arsenal this last Monday beat West Ham away 3-1 and won their first football game ending a 9-match unbeaten run, which is their longest unbeaten run since 1977.
Wow.
In all competitions.
Man, that's something else.
They sit now in 9th in the Premier League. Just sacked their manager. It's not going great for the Gunners right now. Got the win, though.
All right, I know this is an obvious one, but I don't know if you guys saw Son's goal over the weekend.
Yeah.
Took it, dribbled almost the whole length of the field and beat 5 or 6 guys. Just amazing. Get out of your seat, kind of play. And then of course he finished it off just beautifully. And I was just like, wow. It makes you think about, the game in a whole new way sometimes, because you don't always see that, like you don't see guys just one-on-one,
Mm-hmm.
You might see it in the NBA or something, but soccer is such a team game, you're just so dependent on other players. And then you see something like that and it's like, oh man, that was amazing. I love seeing that. I looked at something and they were kind of showing some other moments just like that. They showed, who else did they show? Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo, and it's like players like that. We were kind of used to see that back in the old days, but we don't see it so much nowadays. But I love that.
I really like seeing such a great individual goal be scored by someone with that little of an ego. Like Son, he's such a nice, good character. Like after he broke Andre Gomez's leg and got the red card, he was like crying on the field. And the next game in the Champions League, he did a celebration dedicated to Andre Gomez. Son's a great guy, and I just love seeing players like that do more individual things that you would think of more individual like feats that you would think of some players like maybe Ronaldo or Lewandowski or more individually based players.
Yeah, I'd say one of my favorite moments of the past week was probably Ansu Fati scoring the winner versus Inter Milan.
That was a stunner.
Yeah, great goal, and also becoming the youngest Champions League goal scorer ever. He's only 17 years old by like a month. And yeah, he's just like...
Just to put this into perspective, how old are you guys?
I'm 18.
Nearly there.
Yeah.
There you go. This guy's out there doing
playing
that
in the
stuff.
Champions League for Barcelona.
Scoring a winner against Inter. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just really excited to see what like else he has in the future in store.
Yeah. What else? What was the best game, do you think, of the week? Game of the week last week?
I watched this game. It was pretty entertaining. Not a typical game of the week, but Wolves-Brighton 2-2. It had a lot of chances. 4 goals in the first half. Kind of anticlimactic, but it was still fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then also the Manchester derby was
Oh yeah.
the Marcus Rashford scoring again against the Big Six. Man United have not they've dropped points. They have not lost against another side from the Big Six. They have like the opposite problem of Inter.
Right. Yeah. They're moving on. What are they in the table
fifth.
now?
5th at 24 points, tied with Wolves, 5 points behind Chelsea.
Who do you think's gonna? Will it be Tottenham ahead of Man United, or the other way around? Who's gonna be higher in the table, do you think?
I'd have to say Man United.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Tottenham's signing of Jose Mourinho, I don't know. I think Manchester United have been doing really well, and they'll continue to do that.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that as we get into the end of the season, maybe once Spurs get knocked out of the Champions League, we're going to see a real scenario like what we saw with Solskjaer last year, where it's going great, then the wheels kind of start to fall off the bus, and you have chaos, and it's just not a great scene. And I could definitely see something like that happening with Spurs later this year. And I think United, they're my bets to grab that spot. I could also see them winning the Europa League, too.
Yeah. Well, will Tottenham drop out of the Champions League early? That's
Mm-hmm.
Well, they can't. Oh, you mean... I thought you meant like into the Europa League.
Oh yeah,
My
right.
bad.
No, yeah, they might. Who knows? Maybe they make a run.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
What
are we looking forward to this weekend? We got We got any big matches in the Premier League to look forward to?
Liverpool play Watford. Set my alarm for 4:30 for that game. It's going to be great. And there's also Man City versus Arsenal this weekend. Two teams tremendously struggling by their standards. Something's got to give.
Mm-hmm.
You think? Well, you're right. By their standards, Man City. I mean, most teams would love to struggle like Man City.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Who do you think takes the win there? Man City.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm not even sure what I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping you guys can help me out here because I have not looked to this weekend, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's coming up either.
I'm looking forward to Liverpool playing on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Shout out FIFA. Great planning.
Right.
Also, El Clasico next Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
It got rescheduled from October. And it's Barcelona and Real Madrid, both top of La Liga, with a game in hand against each other. That should be a good one next week.
All right. So we got a lot to look forward to. Some really great matches. And then, we'll keep our eyes peeled on those. Anyway, so that's kind of, I think we're going to wrap up. Thanks guys for doing another great show, Fridays in Football. Always watch for us every Friday. We'll be here next Friday as well. And then we might not be on air for a couple of weeks, but we'll talk about that next time. It's been a wonderful Champions League week, and we're looking forward to getting back into some league action as well. So without further ado, I'm Ace. That's Jade. He's Tyler. And thanks for watching Fridays in Football.